All right, cool. So what's going on YouTube? I have here so yesterday, Steve, who is here, he shot me an email yesterday morning and said that he just did what I told him in some videos on YouTube, and he got his first wholesale deal. And maybe we'll flash the check, maybe not on YouTube, Steve, if that's cool with you.
It's already deposited, my man.
So he got a $10,000 check. It's his first deal. And I remember I had made a video about my first deal and it kind of motivated some people. So I wanted him to come on and share his story to hopefully inspire some of you new people that haven't got your first deal as well. So Steven, and just so you know, he just hopped on here 30 seconds ago. We've sent like 3 emails and we haven't even had like a, hey, nice to get to know you chat. So yeah. I'm meeting Steve just like you're meeting Steve, and I'm pretty jacked about it. So I guess I'm just gonna start with some questions, basically, if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
So why wholesaling?
Well, I have always been interested in real estate. You know, I think it's definitely a passion of mine. I feel like more millionaires come out of like the real estate vertical than any other segment, like job that you can have. And I just think like it can provide like a path to wealth. And I figured wholesaling is a good way to crack in there. You can get in, right? What's like the rich dad, poor dad? Either you're time rich or money rich, right? And I'm not money rich, I'm time rich, right? So I figure I can get in there with a minimal amount of capital up front and use it to build my wealth. Because, you know, I like wholesaling, I like the business model, but I'm hoping I can get into flipping and buying rentals and having that income for my family.
No, nice. That's I mean, that's what's up basically. It's like, what other business can you start? Compare it to, you know, owning a McDonald's or something like this. You can start a wholesaling business with like, depending on how much time, like you just said, and how much you want to leverage, but a couple $100 a month, if you've got that spread out over 6 months, you can start wholesaling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So no, that's really cool. So you said you're time rich right now. So were you able to devote like all day to this, or was it kind of part-time, or like what was your process like?
Definitely started. So I have a full-time job that, you know, I've been working remotely since this whole COVID thing. And I literally just became a dad on January 14th. So I'm a first-time father. So like juggling a full-time job, my wife's been a boss helping me out, helping us out, right? Really taking care of the kid. But this kind of started a little bit before the baby was born. Because I was like, man, I'm about to have a kid, I'm about to be a dad. Like life is like slapping me in the face, like it's about to get real. And having this full-time job. So I was starting to call out after work. So I'm on the East Coast, I get off like 5:30 sometimes. So I'm like, all right, that's when people are getting home anyway. Yeah. Let me just, you know, what's the saying? Like, you know, either you suffer the pain of discipline or you suffer the pain of regret, right? Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna suffer through this discipline and try to call between 5 and 7 Eastern, right, PM. And you know, following your courses, that you had a course out on YouTube, like every week you're putting something out, like what to do, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. You know, it seems like it's not hard, but it's simple, but it's not easy. I think that's the best.
Right. Yeah. It's really simple. The concept is simple. It's just work. Right. Yeah. And just so people if they're looking for that thing on YouTube, what he's referring to, back in November and December last year, so a couple months ago, I did I was testing. I mean, I haven't really been doing this YouTube channel much. I was like, I'm going to put out a course. It was 9 weeks. And you caught that course when it was still up there. A couple of the videos are still up there, but I've since made a new one that you can check out if you want to. I'm not trying to sell a course on this video. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's 28 videos.
But that's what helped me.
Check that out. Yeah. But so that's just so you're aware. If you try to look for it on YouTube, it's not there. You have to click on the link in the description. But so you followed it, and you basically, like, where did you get your list from?
So I invested in PropStream. Once you did that, you're able to, you know, pull properties. And in one of your videos, you go over, hey, like, these are the lists I use. This is what works. Use this filter, do this. And I literally just like took a screenshot and like, all right, I'm going to do this and do this. And I just, you know, nutted up and just started calling people. You know, it was kind of scary at first. You know, people are telling you, no, F off, who the hell are you, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, some people that, you know, you call were like, yeah, actually, I was thinking about it. Or, you know, actually, you know, you guys call me all the time. Fine. Like, what do you want? Like, I want this, you know? So it was just freaking, it just worked, man. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like as it was happening, like literally in my head, I'm like, I have your script, like I keep it on my side here. I'm like, this, and then like, and the guy was like going along with it. I was like, all right, yeah, let's do this. I don't know about that price. I have to get back to my partner. And my partner would be like whoever I'm going to partner up with on the deal, right? Because I intend on wholesaling it. So
yeah,
it was crazy, man. It was wild.
I mean, if you want, mindset wise, a partner could be anybody. It could be your wife, it could be your girlfriend, it could be the buyers, it could be the bank, it could be whoever you want to say mentally to be your partner. And really, it is kind of true if you're not going to
it is.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's awesome. So what kind of, because I know a lot of people speak, you had said, I think, getting on the phone, people told you to F off and stuff like that. What is your what's your background? Do you have any previous phone experience or?
Oh, well, not phone experience, but I'm in sales, right?
Okay.
So I'm used to talking to people. I would definitely say I'm an extrovert. I feed off the energy of other people. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just went in there with the mentality like, either they're going to close me on why they don't want a house, sell their home, or I'm going to close them on why they want to sell their home. Like I try to keep it like a game, keep it competitive, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you are getting a lot of no's. You're getting banged on a lot,
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So you had that, because I talked to a lot of people that have told me they're doing the research, they're watching the videos, and I ask them like, how many people are you talking to? And they're like, just to be real with you, I'm making every excuse not to get on the phone. So in your past experience, you watch the videos, and that hurdle, at least for you, was easy because you're used to what it feels like to get rejected. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was already okay. So
in many facets of my life.
We're guys, so I think the level of that we had to get. Okay, so then what was your biggest challenge wasn't getting on the phone? Like what would you say was the hardest part of getting your first deal?
Well, I wouldn't say the biggest challenge was getting on the phone. It definitely was. Like, though I'm used to it, it's like I'm going into something new. Like I'm not used to doing this.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that it was a big challenge, getting on the phone, and being told those no's and like stumbling through a script, right? I mean, the first step at getting good at something is sucking at something, right?
Yeah.
So I went through there like literally sounding like a robot on your script. But as I went through it, I kind of made it my own, started developing it. And instead of being like, hey, I'm with blah, 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 it ended up calming down like, hey, my name's Steve. I came across this property, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Is this your property? And try to keep it more conversational. And that came after like 2.5 weeks of getting told no or to F off or whatever. Every now and again, I'll find a lead and I'll try to follow up with them. But I think the more I practiced, the better I got at it. So
100%. I mean, that's what it's all. The more you'll get confident with the terms, they'll just start to like, you get comfortable asking these questions, and it becomes really easy. And I like that you said that too, because that's what happened to me when I first was given a script. I sounded like a robot reading it, and that's one thing that people need to understand is that I say in the videos, don't read from the script, but at the very beginning, you're probably going to get like accustomed to the language and what you want to say. But then, like you were just saying, you'll start to make it your own. It'll sound natural. And that only took you said like 2 weeks, calling 2 hours a day. That was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're only calling.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So you started, how long did it take you from skip tracing your first list and hitting go on the dialer to this closing of the deal? Like how long was that?
It probably took about maybe like a month and a half ish. I was very fortunate. Like the first week that I got on there, I think I got a guy that was just like must have been called like a bajillion times. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, you guys call me all the time. He lived in Texas. He had vacant land out in my market. And he's like, you guys call me all the time, whatever. He's like, you just caught me in a good day. I don't need it. I've been talking to my wife about it. What's your offer? I'm like, whoa, let me type in some stuff. No idea. So I'm pulling up on Fraud Stream. I'm like, well, can you tell me about the lot, this, that, and the other? And once I actually got it, I'm like, all right, well, let me get the deal. Let me try to lock it up and then figure out where to go from there. So, to answer your earlier question, like what was the hardest part? I think every step in itself is kind of hard, but I think the first step is the hardest, right? Getting on the phone. But now that I got it locked up, I'm like, what the hell do I do, right? So I started hitting up like Facebook groups for that market, for like real estate investors. Like, hey, my name's Steve, looking at JV on a deal. I got a property in this area. If you're interested, give me DM me. And people started DMing me.
Yeah.
And I was just, I would talk to these people. I try to feel them out. And this guy that was really, calm, cool, collected, like it seemed like he was really on top of his P's and Q's. I was like, listen, I didn't have it locked up yet because I didn't know where the price point would be at. But I said, hey, listen, in this area for vacant land, where would a deal need to be? He's like, it needs to be between this range. So then I went back to the buyer. I was like, he was a little high. I was like, well, listen, for me to really make this work, I would need to be around this range and this range. And then we went back and forth, locked it up on a price that was good. So we locked it up for 240 because the area that I was in, they're like $1 million homes in the area.
I was gonna say, dang, dude, 240
$1 million homes in the area.
Yeah.
So I was like, we locked up on 240. I ended up selling to the guy for 250. So I made a $10,000 wholesale fee. But the guy was like, he knew what he was talking about. I was like, well, I built homes in downtown, this, that, and the other. And he was just like, yeah, at 250, I can make this work. And it's gonna be like a $1.3 million home built on that lot. And I had no idea how to for land, no idea. Right? Yeah. I was like, homes, right? Give me 3.2 price per square foot, other comps. But this is land. I'm like, oh, fuck. Of course, it's gonna be my first deal. It's gonna be land, something I have no idea about. And but it just, I stumbled my way through it, man, and it worked. So that's
what's up. See, and that's the thing too. Yeah, like especially if you're in a new market and you don't have strong buyers, what you did is great. Like I do the same thing. So I see you're wearing a Jets sweater. Do you live there or are you trained?
No, I live in Charlotte. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I'm from New York City. So unfortunately I'm a Jets fan. It's very trying.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're in Carolina, and I think I'm in Tennessee, where there's some good markets in Tennessee. So did you do was it a backyard deal, or did you do this virtually and never even go to the house?
I never went to the house. So it was it was close. It's maybe about 40 minutes away from here though. So I could have gone, but the guy that I spoke to knew that area, and he's like, yes, I know that area. Like, I know what you're talking about. This is where it would need to be for it to be a deal.
And I forgot too, it was a land thing too. So you don't really necessarily need to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But still, it was land. And then I started learning about land. Well, where does the water flow off? I got to get soil tests and all this stuff. And I was like, the guy's telling me what he needs. So I go back to the seller. I'm like, yeah, well, I got to run some soil tests. I got to do this, that, and the other. So it made it sound like I knew what I was talking about, but that's how I was able to use that to negotiate them down. So it's
100%. And that's great too, that you leveraged somebody that knew what they were doing. That's all you got to, and what's cool is, so you gave them a range. You gave the guy a range to see that you were even in the ballpark, if they were even worth talking to, right?
Yeah.
And then you went back and so did you give him like an offer that you had to renegotiate, or did you give him a range? He said, yeah, that's kind of in the ballpark. And then you went and found somebody and was like, where would I need to be at here? And then went back and then made your actual offer?
Yeah, so similar to that. So the buyer who ended up buying it, when I told him the area, I told him where it was, just because I didn't have it locked up. So I was really nervous. Like, should I tell him where it is? Because I don't have it locked up. He can skip trace it and contact the guy directly. But the guy was an active user on that forum, and it seemed like he was dropping knowledge, and people deemed him trustworthy. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. And he was like, yeah, that in that area, it would have to be around this price range for it to really be a deal. So then I went back to the seller. I was like, well, based on this, that, and the other, I would need it to be around here for it to work for me. So he went and spoke to his wife. He's like, yeah, all right, we can do that price. So then I was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, of course you can do that. That's reasonable. And so I sent him the contract. He signed it, locked it up, and then I brought it to my guy. And there were some contingencies in there, like a soil test being one of them. Ordinance and zoning he had to go check out because it's new construction. So then when it closed, it was just like, wow, it's just.
Did you get the check mailed to you, or did you go pick it up?
Oh, I picked that up the day of.
I was so pumped. I still do
that. The lawyer was like, yeah, we can wire it to you. I'm like, no.
Right.
I was like, I'll go there. I'll pick that thing up because I want to take a picture of it, and I have the little receipt of it still, but I went and deposited the check because I played sports growing up, right? I don't want to jinx myself. So I would never tell anyone about the deal until like it officially happened. And I didn't, you know, it wasn't even official until the money was actually in the account. Then I was like, this is nuts, you know? So it was crazy.
I'm the exact same way. Okay. Yeah. You don't count your money till it's in the bank.
I don't know.
Dang. Okay. So you went, because that's something that I think new people tend to, you talk to numbers with them. Like you broached a range, seeing if they were interested. And then you came back and then you said you still probably had some back and forth about the price.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like, I think, because you have a sales background and I don't, I'm actually kind of more introverted and I come from like Excel spreadsheet world. So this is kind of cool. We're from two different worlds.
Yeah.
Right. And if I can get deals from mine and you can get it from yours, anyone can do this.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think a lot of people are afraid of that, like friction of negotiating, and they say their offer. And then when they say no, they think that's it. And would you say that that's probably not how most of the time it's going to go? Your offer is just your starting point.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I think, you know, the way to think about it, it's a negotiation, right? It's not a yes or no. It's not binary, right? So you're going back and forth with this person. Well, what would make it work? You know, like a phrase I hear a lot is like, well, we can find a deal somewhere. Let's find it. I feel like we're close. Like, what would we need to do? Where we need to be, you know? So it's definitely not binary. But you know, it was easier for me, I think, because he had a number in mind. He told me, right?
Yep.
So I was like, all right, well, this is his anchor, right? So let me go to my potential buyer and see where his anchor is, and let's massage it so that way these can, you know, it can meet up, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you used the soil test and all that stuff. A little bit reluctant.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, and it resonated with the seller too, because like, I can understand that, you know, it's land. Like, so the guy kind of, you know, it was, I mean, it just worked out, man. Like, it was just such a blur. I wish I could have recorded it so I can go back and kind of critique myself, but it was just such a blur, you know?
No, and it's really cool. And I like what you said earlier is that, because a lot of people, it's the same thing. I want to try to, because people are going to watch this video. Like, what you did was you said, I'm going to start calling people. And then you started calling people. And then you had another obstacle. I'm not sure what to say here, maybe, or this, that. And then you went to Facebook and you asked, and then you solved that one. And then you solved that one. And then, oh, this is land. I don't even know how do I, okay, now you got to solve that. And that's what I wish people need to do what you did and just start and then solve problems as they happen, instead of trying to solve all these theoretical problems that may or may not ever come up in a really long time.
You hit the nail on the head, because I can even see, like, in your YouTube comments, like, people want to be so prepared and they're asking all these questions, but like just do it first and then see what happens, because you're preparing for this question that might not even happen in your first deal.
Right.
You know, like just do it, and then you'll find that once you actually have a deal, like, people wanted to help me. They were answering my questions because they weren't broad questions. They were pointed, like, you know, like for this area, for this land, you know, like, and it was like, all right, so he's not asking a broad question. Like, he must be happy. There's something going on here. And the people want to help you because they want to make money. They want to see that deal. They want to get access to it. So they're even more apt to help you. It's like, you know, it's a give and a take, right? If you're just taking and not giving, they're like, oh, well, whatever. Because, you know, I'll go through that forum and there's people asking questions, like on this Facebook forum. And, you know, some people, you know, they won't get any answers, but those that have a deal, that are asking very pointed questions, they're the ones that have comments, you know, people are really trying to reach out and help them and get a deal.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like, not to bash anybody or anything like that, but like, a question I get all the time is, where do I get a proof of funds letter? And then I'm like, well, why do you need a proof of funds letter? And then they're like, well, I've heard that people say they need one. And I'm like, don't worry about a proof of funds letter until you need a proof of funds letter. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly.
I mean? That kind of
like
stuff.
Negotiate the deal. Your buyer, who you're going to wholesale to, will have a proof of funds letter, you know, or something like that. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, for sure.
Yeah. Wait till you have the problem before you try to solve the problem. But,
exactly.
Okay.
Don't create problems. Like, they're creating a problem for themselves that, you know, that they don't.
100%. It's going to overwhelm.
Yep.
So you got a $10,000 deal. So what is next? What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to just pour it 100% back into the business. Like, I'm going to do more marketing. I'm going to pull more lists. And now that, I'm off of work for my paternity leave, so I want to, of course, spend as much time as I can with my newborn because I'm a dad for the very first time.
Yeah.
But also, like, now that I can do it more than just 5 to 7, right? Now I can really just dedicate to like being on the phone and just trying to create leads. I find that a problem that I'm having now is like systems, like lead management.
I was gonna ask
you. Like scrubbing a list where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this first, then take out the no's, then windmill it down more, and like just keeping track of all that. So it's a different problem. It's a good problem to have because now I'm like, all right, now I have the money to buy the leads, to dedicate to it, and try to develop a system around that.
I was gonna say, are you using? What are you doing follow up? Are you using Mojo? And what are you using for an auto dialer?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So I basically use Mojo and PropStream, right?
Okay.
Mojo dialer is a beast. That thing is crazy. You are pumping out like 100 calls in like 1 hour. It's insane.
Yeah.
But it's funny that, we're doing this right now because like I literally just emailed you yesterday, but I was in the middle of your Podio videos, like trying to set it up because I need a good CRM. I do. I need to be able to follow up because spreadsheets are just not working. They used to work when I first started trying to keep track of stuff, but it's just like, it happens so fast, and you want to be efficient with your time. And so I've been really looking into Podio and helping me manage my
Okay. Yeah, and there's I personally use Podio. That's cool if you want to use Podio too. There's a million different things you can use. I mean, Mojo has a CRM, but like you just said, don't try to do it in Excel though. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a headache. It's impossible. You get any more than 5 leads, and you're gonna be like, all right, this thing.
And I've gotten lots of leads. Like this just happened to close first and was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to keep track of as organized as you want to be. And I'm not really the most organized person. Like I said, I'm an extrovert. I'm more of a people person, talker.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the spreadsheets, man, I'm not good at it. But I try my best. But I think looking into your videos, it looks like Podio could be a viable option. So
yeah, I love it. I'm actually so I currently use Mojo, but I use smartphone and Podio, and that's what those videos that you see are. Because I don't know what phone platform are you using. CallRail? Like, what are you using for your phone number?
I use Mighty Call.
Okay, so there's like phone burn. I think there's like a bunch of different ones where you can get phone numbers. I personally like smartphone because it integrates directly into Podio, and then I'm switching to Smart Dialer so that literally my auto dialer, my phone platform, and my CRM is all one thing. So that's cool. Kind of what I'm going to be doing. But Mojo is great too. I'm using Mojo right now. I'm just going to be making that switch eventually. But cool. So Podio, awesome, man. So you're going to invest back in the business. You can call more.
Yep.
Man, so now, that's what it's all about.
I have a little celebratory dinner, have a takeout, I guess, since it's all COVID lockdown stuff, but I get a celebratory DoorDash or something, but I just want to pour it all back into this. So I don't have to worry about my marketing, that's going to be my marketing budget for the time to come.
Yeah, split it up some, I would say. I mean, do whatever you want to do, obviously. But I made a mistake one time when I was working with my business partner back in the day, and we went hard. We hired like 6 VAs. This was back when I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we were getting like no deals and spending like $8,000 to $10,000 a month for like 6 months straight. And it was because we weren't paying attention, and we got a couple deals, and then we just threw all of it back in like a month or two, and it was a really big mistake. So I would just say, because some people might do it, if you get $10,000, don't just say next month I'm spending 10 G's.
Oh no,
yeah, right. I know that. I know. Just in case.
No, I got you. I think if I can do like split up between like maybe like $500 or $600 a month. It'll last me like hopefully a whole year, but I don't intend on spending that much money until I can scale myself if it's more than just me.
Yeah.
Because I can only do so much, and I don't want to waste a list by not being able to burn through it a couple of times.
Yeah, you want to go through at least I would say 5 times. When you get a list, run through it 5 times, and then remember in 6 months or 3 mons, 4 months, whatever, you're gonna go back to that list because people that may not have been interested 4 months ago could have changed their mind. Unless like you said, they told you to F off and then you DNC or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
But,
Even
okay.
then, I still might follow up with them like 6 months or a year. You never know.
I know. My bad. We changed our system. I'm so
the guy
sorry.
that I called, the guy that I called, that he was one of those guys. Like he probably told a million people to F off before me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what? You caught me on a good day. You know, we're just getting ready to get rid of this thing. You know, what do you got?
That's another key takeaway from this story is that it's all about timing.
Yeah,
like
it
a
is.
lot of it. That's why follow-up is important, and it doesn't matter if it's Cody or not. I'm trying to, but you want to follow up with people because if they said, yeah, I want to sell my house maybe in a couple months, you want to be calling them every 3 weeks because say that you're the guy, you wait 3 months and then you call them 3 months later, but someone had called them a month and a half before you. They're like, well, you're the one that called me, so I would do the deal with you. And then you follow up and they're like, oh, I already sold the house.
Yeah. Exactly.
It happens. Still happens.
Whatever follow-up they give me, I cut it in half.
Yep.
You know, like this guy's like, hey, call me at the end of February. I'm gonna call him after Valentine's Day. All right. Yep. I'm calling like I'm cutting it every follow-up. I'm cutting it in half because I just that first deal taught me, if anything, like, you know, like, all right, I caught this guy on the right day. Who knows how many people he said, you know, follow up with me in like 5 months, 6 months, whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Smart. Yeah. Well, cool. I don't want to take up your whole afternoon. Where can people, if they want to reach out to you, you seem like a cool dude. I'm meeting you for the first time. I don't have anything. Where can they find you?
Anything. Like, I'm just like a regular guy. I don't have like a YouTube or like an Instagram or anything. I'm not really a big social media user unless I'm following like, you know, like Bigger Pockets or something like that. But you can find me on this interview that we're doing right now because I am not out there like that. So
okay, no worries. Yeah, all right. Well, cool. I'm gonna stop the recording, but we'll keep hanging on. Thanks.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, boom. Take care.